I mean, even our guys that play other sports during those seasons, when they have free time, they come in and they wrestle it.
As far as the kids go, this started at middle school. A lot of these kids have came through the middle school program that Rialto is doing right now. So becoming a student athlete, it's a lot harder than just going in the classroom because you have to maintain your grades, plus go to practice every day.
Hi, I'm Peggy Wheeler and I'm part of the RISE event. And RISE stands for Rialto Inspiring STEAM Education. And this event, we've had 500 students every day on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And the RISE event, it's so awesome because it's giving students the opportunity to have experiences, what they can look forward to in high school and middle school. So we have people from the community, we have teachers from career technical education, we have student volunteers. It is just an exciting event. Students go from zone to zone, 20 minutes at a time, and they're going to get inspired about education.
My name is Joe Paluba. I'm the athletic director at Carter High School. I've been here since 2005. Now we have our 6th CIF plaque. 4 of them are in wrestling, 1 for track, and 1 for boys soccer. I do believe with the accomplishment that has just been achieved this past weekend, the boys achieving a 3rd CIF title, that is a district record.
A lot of people wonder what they have to do to work so hard to get to this point where we have 9 CIF placers and stuff like that. It's not one thing. It's these guys. What a lot of people don't realize, these guys wrestle year round. You know, I mean, even our guys that play other sports during those seasons, when they have free time, they come in and they wrestle it.
As far as the kids go, this started at middle school. A lot of these kids have came through the middle school program that Rialto is doing right now. So becoming a student athlete, it's a lot harder than just going in the classroom because you have to maintain your grades, plus go to practice every day.
Hi, I'm Peggy Wheeler and I'm part of the RISE event. And RISE stands for Rialto Inspiring STEAM Education. And this event, we've had 500 students every day on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And the RISE event, it's so awesome because it's giving students the opportunity to have experiences, what they can look forward to in high school and middle school. So we have people from the community, we have teachers from career technical education, we have student volunteers. It is just an exciting event. Students go from zone to zone, 20 minutes at a time, and they're going to get inspired about education. giving students the opportunity to have experiences, what they can look forward to in high school and middle school. So we have people from the community, we have teachers from career technical education, we have student volunteers. It is just an exciting event. Students go from zone to zone, 20 minutes at a time, and they're going to get inspired about education.
My name is Joe Paluba. I'm the athletic director at Carter High School. I've been here since 2005. Now we have our 6th CIF plaque. 4 of them are in wrestling, 1 for track and 1 for boys soccer. I do believe with the accomplishment that has just been achieved this past weekend, the boys achieving a 3rd CIF title, that is a district record.
A lot of people wonder what they have to do to work so hard to get to this point where we have 9 CIF placers and stuff like that. It's not one thing. It's these guys. What a lot of people don't realize, these guys wrestle year round. You know, I mean, even our guys that play other sports during those seasons, when they have free time, they come in and they wrestle it.
As far as the kids go, this started at middle school. A lot of these kids have came through the middle school program that Rialto is doing right now. So becoming a student athlete, it's a lot harder than just going in the classroom because you have to maintain your grades, plus go to practice every day.
Hi, I'm Peggy Wheeler, and I'm part of the RISE event. And RISE stands for Rialto Inspiring STEAM Education. And this event, we've had 500 students every day on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And the RISE event, it's so awesome because it's giving students the opportunity to have experiences, what they can look forward to in high school and middle school. So we have people from the community, we have teachers from career technical education, we have student volunteers. It is just an exciting event. Students go from zone to zone, 20 minutes at a time, and they're going to get inspired about education.
My name is Joe Paluba. I'm the athletic director at Carter High School. I've been here since 2005. Now we have our 6th CIF plaque. 4 of them are in wrestling, 1 for track and 1 for boys soccer. I do believe with the accomplishment that has just been achieved this past weekend, the boys achieving a 3rd CIF title, that is a district record.
A lot of people wonder what they have to do to work so hard to get to this point where we have 9 CIF placers and stuff like that. It's not one thing. It's these guys. What a lot of people don't realize, these guys wrestle year round. You know, I mean, even our guys that play other sports during those seasons, when they have free time, they come in and they wrestle it.
As far as the kids go, this started at middle school. A lot of these kids have came through the middle school program that Rialto is doing right now. So becoming a student athlete, it's a lot harder than just going in the classroom because you have to maintain your grades, plus go to practice every day.
Hi, I'm Peggy Wheeler, and I'm part of the RISE event. And RISE stands for Rialto Inspiring STEAM Education. And this event, we've had 500 students every day on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And the RISE event, it's so awesome because it's giving students the opportunity to have experiences, what they can look forward to in high school and middle school. So we have people from the community, we have teachers from career technical education, we have student volunteers. It is just an exciting event. Students go from zone to zone, 20 minutes at a time, and they're going to get inspired about education.
My name is Joe Paluba. I'm the athletic director at Carter High School. I've been here since 2005. Now we have our 6th CIF plaque. 4 of them are in wrestling, 1 for track, and 1 for boys soccer. I do believe with the accomplishment that has just been achieved this past weekend, the boys achieving a 3rd CIF title, that is a district record.
A lot of people wonder what they have to do to work so hard to get to this point where we have 9 CIF placers and stuff like that. It's not one thing. It's these guys. What a lot of people don't realize, these guys wrestle year round. You know, I mean, even our guys that play other sports during those seasons, when they have free time, they come in and they wrestle.
As far as the kids go, this started in middle school. A lot of these kids have came through the middle school program that Rialto is doing right now. So becoming a student athlete, it's a lot harder than just going in the classroom because you have to maintain your grades, plus go to practice every day.
Hi, I'm Peggy Wheeler, and I'm part of the RISE event. And RISE stands for Rialto Inspiring STEAM Education. And this event, we've had 500 students every day on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And the RISE event, it's so awesome because it's giving students the opportunity to have experiences, what they can look forward to in high school and middle school. So we have people from the community, we have teachers from career technical education, we have student volunteers. It is just an exciting event. Students go from zone to zone, 20 minutes at a time, and they're going to get inspired about education.
My name is Joe Paluba. I'm the athletic director at Carter High School. I've been here since 2000.
Hi, how are you? Right, I'm fine, thanks.
The silver one.
Oh, I found one, thank
Okay.
you.
1 minute. Evening, yes. All right. Welcome back. It is 7 p.m. And can I have a motion and a second to adjourn closed session,
So
please?
moved.
Second.
Thank you. Vote by board members.
Aye.
Did Mr. Ayala?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Tonight, our school board meeting will be open with dynamic performances by Frisbee Middle School. But first, let's have Falcons 8th grade student Daniel Evans lead us in the pledge.
Please look at the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, young Mr. Evans. Okay, and now we have music teacher Mrs. Francesca Henderson, who will lead the Frisbee Choir, performing the Black National Anthem. Lift every voice and sing.
Ring with the harmonies of
bravely done. Let us march on till victory is won.
Thank you. That was wonderful. And there's more. Okay. And now, led by Falcon teachers, Mr. Edward Campbell and Mr. Robert Jones, these students were the top winners from the Frisbee Talent Show. We give you a highlight with Celeste Rocha. Okay. Carlin Malcolm Berry, performing The Bronze Legacy by Effie Lee Newsom.
The Bronze Legacy to a Brown Boy, written by Effie Newsom. This a noble gift to be brown, all brown, like the strongest things that make up this earth, like the mountains great and grand, even like the very land, even like the trunk of trees, even oaks to be like trees. God builds his strength in bronze, to be brown like question mark, like the stubble rim so dark, may the king of beasts grow brown. I thank God that I am brown. Brown has mighty things to do.
Go ahead and announce them, please.
Next we have Celeste Rocha, and then we're gonna have Kayla Carell. It's gonna be blended together.
Are you both singing at the same time? No. Okay, why don't you hand her the microphone, please? Okay, but the audience can hear you, but the TV audience cannot. So she needs a microphone, please. Thank you.
Send me your location, let's focus on communicating, 'cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location, let's ride the vibrations. I don't need nothing else but you. At times I wonder why I fool with you, but this ain't new to me, this ain't new to you initially. I didn't wanna fall for you, gather my attention, it was all for you. So don't take advantage, don't leave my heart damaged. To understand that things go a little bit better when you plan it. So won't you send me your location, let's focus on communicating, 'cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location, let's ride the vibrations. I don't need nothing else but you. I don't wanna fall in love off a subsweet soul. Let's get personal, I got a lot of cool spots that we can go. Tell me what's the move and I got you. I'm only acting like this 'cause I like you. Just give me the vibe to slide in, then I might make you mine by the night. Send me your location, let's focus on communicating, 'cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location, let's ride the vibrations. I don't need nothing else but you. Ride, come and vibe with me tonight. I don't need nothing else but you. Ride, come and vibe with me tonight. I don't need nothing else but you.
Please announce your name again. Oh, that mic right there is fine.
Kayla Correa.
Welcome, Kayla. Please.
Could begin to be half of what you think of me. I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love. When I see the way you act, wondering when I'm coming back. I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love like you. Love like you. I always thought I might be bad. Now I'm sure that it's true. 'Cause I think you're so good. And I'm nothing like you. Look at you go, I just adore you. I wish that I knew what makes you think I'm so special. If I could begin to do something that does right by you, I would do about anything. I would even learn how to love. When I see the way you look, shaken by how long it took, I would do about anything. I would even learn how to love like you. Love like you. Love me like you.
The danger of dead air.
Are we ready? Come on in. Are they going to be presenting? Okay, perfect. That's the end of the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, do we have anything to report out of closed session?
Nothing to report.
Alrighty. I was just messing with you earlier that we had all
Move to adopt the agenda.
Thank you very much. Need a second, please?
Second?
All right, preferential vote by student board member.
Aye.
Okay, vote by board member?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, we've got the DSAC middle school presentations. Mr. Herrera,
First, we have Carly Gutierrez from Frisbee Middle School.
welcome.
Good evening, parents, guardians, community members, members of the board, superintendent, and Superintendent Dr. Avila. This month has been very busy. This month has been a very busy month for Frisbee. We are planning our 5th annual College and Career Day. We at Frisbee make this a school-wide event. We have invited over 60 professionals to our Frisbee campus to lecture and talk to us about careers and pathways that might interest us. Another component we incorporated to our career day is a presentation from our AVID students. Our AVID students researched careers and colleges and will be presenting them as a college walkthrough. Our career and college day has been a great success for the past 5 years. It is a good way for us to get ahead and start our future and see what we can accomplish. Every year we learn what works, and hope next year's event is even bigger and better. As our ASB president, I am personally inviting you, our board, Rialto Unified School District Board, and all district officials to come and be a part of our career event. Frisbee takes pride in being one of our pioneers in the middle school career day. Our event will take place Wednesday, March 14th from 8:30 a.m. to 12 noon. Our Frisbee Students Against Cancer Club hosted our third talent show. We had 20 acts perform. We had dancers, rappers, singers, and 3 teachers also performed for our audience. Our club raised $215 towards the fight against cancer. We would also like to wish our runners from the Students Run LA team the best of luck as they will be participating in the Los Angeles Marathon on Sunday, March 18th. It has been a great journey that started during the summer, and we hope they all make it to the finish line. Make sure you tune in for TV coverage that morning. You never know, you might spot one of our Frisbee runners. We are also in the process of getting ready for our 8th grade activities. We are so excited about planning our 8th grade dance. We can't reveal any more information because that's top secret. But it's going to be an amazing event. That's all for this month. Any questions?
Questions?
Are you going to be wearing Frisbee shirts in the marathon? Otherwise, how will we know it's a Frisbee student?
Part of the Students Run LA Club, so it's like 3,000 students.
Oh. So we have to know them personally. Okay, there you go.
There you go.
All right, thank you. And at this time, our Frisbee Students Against Cancer Club would like to present you, our board, with these shirts that read, Fight for those battling now, fight for those who survived, fight for those who will battle, and fight for those taken too soon. Frisbee Students Against Cancer. Thank you, and have a great night.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Herrera.
Next, we have Charlie Garcia from Rialto Middle School. Welcome.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Avila, and our viewing audience. My name is Charlie Garcia, and I am the ASB Vice President of Rialto Middle School. Last Friday, we took 250 of our honor roll students to Knott's Berry Farm for a day of friends and food. The weather was great and the lines were short. A great day for everyone. Next week is open house at RMS, and the taco guy will be there to feed family and friends. Teachers will be on point as they display fantastic student work. Dr. Seuss Week starts this Friday, and our Builders Club, along with the Hat in the Hat, will visit Warner Elementary Stars on Wednesday to read to every first grader and present them with a book for their very own home library, thanks to the Rialto Education Association grant. Everyone should have books at home to read, right?
Right.
Our basketball teams finished their season today, with the boys team went 3-1 for a position in the playoffs. Our girls team kept improving their skills each week, just missing a win by 3 points. They had a great season. The STEM Bowl team is learning how to harvest water from air, as well as valuable teamwork skills that are needed in today's workplace problems. Our 8th graders have been visiting the high school campuses and learning about all the opportunities of their next move. They are excited about their future challenges. We would like to thank Mr. Wagner for his time at RMS. We will miss him. Have a great spring break, as we will see you at the end of March.
Well done.
Next, we have Monique Ariano from Cole Middle School.
Welcome.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Avila, and viewing audience. We're so excited to be here and to tell you what we are doing at Kolb. I'm Monique Ariano, President of the Mighty Cougars, and this is our ASB Vice President, Taylor Roten. Over the past month, Kolb has focused on shining attention on great accomplishments of our Cougars. Almost 200 of our scholars were rewarded for reaching top grades during both of the first 2 quarters by creating their own painting based on Kandinsky circles instructed by Purple Easel. 200 of our 6th graders reached the school PBIS expectation and were rewarded with a 3D science-based IMAX movie experience. And and next week, the grade level with the highest attendance recovery will be treated with a special pizza luncheon to celebrate all their hard work. Kolb is also proud to be sending 2 students to the County Science Fair and honoring 5 of our art students that were awarded to the Young Artists Month Conference in Moreno Valley. Kolb student leaders led a month-long kindness conversation campaign. The conversation starts with you. It focused on simple gestures and positive talk to try to make a change on our campus. It started with kindness conversation hearts on every campus door, and inspirational and motivation quote posters hung throughout the entire campus. And those same quotes were spoken in the morning announcements and was also sent daily to the teachers for class conversations. Our staff was encouraged to join in the conversation to help keep the kindness conversation going. Kolb continues to hold monthly family nights at local restaurants to continue on building our family relationships and to build within our community. This continues to be our favorite monthly activity and most looked forward to our event to our families, students, staff, community groups, and we have worked with. Memories in the making. Remember, Cougars always loud and proud. Hashtag Kolb. 50 and fabulous. I'm sorry.
Did great.
And finally, we have Melissa Castro from Casera Middle School.
Welcome.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Avila, and viewing audience. My name is Melissa Castro. I am the ASB Vice President at Casera Middle School. Today, I am honored to be able to tell you how much we have accomplished as a learning community at Casera Middle School. ASB worked for days to create colorful decorations to carry out our Valentine's dance, where all the students smiled, danced, played games, and made memories with their fellow students. We also recently had our Breakfast of Champions, where we rewarded each student in attendance for exhibiting responsibility. Every student in that room had a smile on their face when they received an award. We're proud to say we had some students from our school read a poem at Carter High School in an assembly for Black History Month. We are also proud of our boys and girls basketball teams who have practiced relentlessly and have yet to lose a game as we cheer them on. I would like to mention our upcoming 8th grade field trip next Friday that will take us to Cal State University, where we will take our students around the campus to gain valuable knowledge about college, programs for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. A lot of our students have shown promise in these careers, even getting our STEM team a couple of awards. I would like to add that February 20th, we had our awards assembly. Many of our students received awards for their amazing grades, and even to those who didn't, we are grateful for their effort. Finally, March 8th is our open house for students to come to Casera and show their parents exactly what they have been working on, their goals for the next quarter, and how they would like to improve. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Well done. Okay, thank you very much. I always enjoy those reports. They get better at reporting them. They're still nervous, but heck, so am I. Okay, I bloopered in adoption of the agenda, so I need to ask for a motion to amend the agenda adoption by pulling B3, item B3. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Motion to pull B3.
Thank you. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, and we will adopt the agenda, everything but B3. Preferential vote by student board member?
Aye.
Thank you. And vote by board members.
Aye.
Thank you. See, they get nervous. I blooper. Okay, number 4 on presentations. We have Lobby Guard, Visitor Management System, Safe Schools Plan presentation.
What about the Measure Y?
Oh, I'm sorry. I even had that there. See, I told you I was bloopering.
Because they're looking like, wait a minute.
Yeah, never mind. We're going back. Yeah. Okay, B2.
Sorry, Gordon.
Yeah. Down, boy. Down, chief. Okay, Measure
Sorry.
Y. Thank you for catching that. Measure Y 2010 General Obligation Bonds Financial and Performance Audit Report for the year ended June 30th, 2017, presented by Ms. Paula Bailey, Chairperson of the Measure Y Citizens Oversight Committee. Ms. Bailey, welcome.
Thank you, President Martinez. Good evening, board members and Mr. McDuffie, who I have not yet met. I'd like to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. Yes, I am the chair of the Measure Y Committee. Our financial and performance audit. Article 13A of the California Constitution requires the district to conduct an annual independent financial and performance audit of the bond funds until all of the proceeds have been expended. The audit covers only bond proceeds recorded in the building fund, Fund 21, of the district. The purpose of the audit is to determine whether expenditures charged to the building fund, Measure Y, have been made in accordance with the bond project listing as approved by the voters. The opinion of the Measure Y financial and performance audit is unmodified. This means that the amounts presented are fairly stated in accordance with the general accepted accounting principles, and all required disclosures are included. Testing included verifying that no salaries of school administrators or other operating expenses were charged to bond funds. There were no findings to the financial and performance audit of bond funds. I would also like to give special recognition and ask them to at least stand if they don't want to join me. I have several of our Measure Y members in the audience. I have Mr. Leroy Parker. I have Ms. Connie Bunch. And I have Mr. Russell Silva.
Welcome.
And unfortunately, she was unable to attend, but also Miss Sarah Garcia.
Thank you.
I have one other thing I need to convey to the board and viewing audience is we are looking to fill some vacancies and welcome new committee members. The following vacancies are open: business organization member, at-large community member, taxpayer organization member, and yes, I have applications ready for you. So if you know somebody who would be interested that would fit one of those categories, we would greatly appreciate you reaching out to them. Or if they're not here tonight and you don't get an application, Mr. Mohammed has got them ready for you. All right? Yes.
It would be wonderful, except board members are not eligible.
Okay. But you might know somebody.
Okay. Got it.
That's where we're going with that.
Excellent.
Someone in the community. And I also, on a side note, outside of Measure Y, I want to say to Frisbee Middle School, I really appreciate those shirts. They are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
As a child of somebody who had cancer and a survivor as well, I really appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you. Well done. I'd like to thank the committee, doing a great job at overseeing. I know it's one more thing on the calendar, but the right people are on it. Thank you. Okay, now Lobby Guard Visitor Management System Safe Schools Plan presentation.
I have goodies for the controller.
Yeah, but he isn't going to pick it up tonight, so just give it back to him to get that.
All right. Hi, good evening, members of the board. My name is Michelle Wong. I am with Neopost, and the children are not the only ones that are nervous, FYI. Today I'm just going to be giving you guys an introduction as LobbyGuard visitor management system. I know the district has been looking at a visitor management system that is suitable for your needs. So we've had various meetings in the past to uncover your basic needs and so forth. So today I just want to give you guys a brief overview. And if you guys have any questions, by all means, you can stop me and we'll just go with the flow. Okay?
Thank you.
So who is LobbyGuard? We're the market leader in visitor management, front desk automation systems. We were founded in 2005. We have over 13 years in business. We have over 6,000 installations worldwide across 30 vertical markets, from education to government entities, colleges, universities, healthcare, commercial businesses, cities. Over 300,000 check-ins happen weekly with our system. So we're pretty popular. Or as I like to say, we're kind of a big deal. What is LobbyGuard? LobbyGuard is a visitor management system and a front office automation system. Oh, so sorry. I'm in charge of two things here. Maybe go back one. There you go. I apologize for that. So LobbyGuard is a visitor management front office automation system. Our products are designed to increase building security and reduce the workload of front desk by using the self-service kiosk. Visitors can be checked and tracked through the software. And basically what we do, we enhance the building and facility of security through a process of tracking, screening, and badging your visitor traffic. So the end result, which is our goal, is to provide a safer, more efficient work and school environment by implementing automation and increase your security measures. One. Okay. So I've worked with a lot of different schools, and obviously I've had meetings with your district, and these are the proposition top features that I see are very beneficial for your district. I'm just going to walk through the top ones and give you a couple of examples. So the first thing that, as a proposition for Rialto Unified School District, as we know, safety is a top priority. That is the number one thing that we're looking at. So with that said, what LobbyGuard is going to do is it's going to screen all visitors by doing a background check, making sure that the visitor is not a registered sex offender. And how it does that is it goes through Megan's Law website and Family Watchdog with real live updates. So it's looking through the system, making sure that that person is not a registered sex offender. It's not looking at the documentation if the person is a citizen of the United States. It's not looking at the criminal record, although that is an option. But at this point, it's just strictly doing it as a background check and also a custom red flag list that you can add as well. Yes?
In real time?
In real time, correct.
Impressive.
Yes. So on to the next point, we are able to create watch lists and red flag lists. I put an example there of the San Bernardino school incident that happened. If the teacher had communicated that her husband, I believe, had a restraining order, they could have put them on the red flag list. That way when the person walked up to front desk, checked in, they could have flagged that person down and had him off the premise and potentially have obviously evaded that whole situation. So that's just one example of how you can utilize the red flag list. In addition, it can create reports for volunteers. So every time a volunteer comes in or PTA comes in, you can actually sign them in, sign them out, so you can track the hours. So it provides you a nice report for that as well. It improves efficiency of administration staff by freeing them up to assume other responsibilities because it's a self-service kiosk, so people could walk right up to it and utilize a touchscreen. It's pretty simple to use. It's intuitive, and it actually has visual and audio prompts in different languages. What I liked, I visited San Jacinto Unified School District, and they actually had it in English and Spanish written, so that way you have the dual language. It provides detailed real-time visitor record reporting. It is cloud-based with access reports from any platform that has internet. And basically what that means is anybody from the administration can log on to any device that has internet access and see exactly who is on the premise real-time and who's checked out and so forth.
Advanced scheduling of visitors. So you can actually check in people before. So if you know a group is coming ahead of time, you can actually schedule them beforehand. So that way it speeds up the visitor check-ins. For example, maybe student of the month, you can actually place the kiosk there and have people check in faster as well. And then it has electronic visitor arrival notification. What does that mean? So basically, when you go and visit someone, the person that you're visiting can actually get an electronic notification through a text or an email alert. So say Michelle, I come in to visit a teacher per se. She'll get an electronic alert and letting her know that I'm in the lobby waiting for her, whether text or email or both. And this can go for administration as well. It prints highly visible custom badges, and we have different options with the badges. So we have different colors for different days of the week. We have expiring badges that expire within 24 hours. We have badge holders, you name it. We got all different kinds of options. And it keeps record of time and attendance for students. So if you have any reporting or anything that you need as far as maybe students arriving late, we can actually keep track of that too in addition. And what's really neat about it, if you go on the portal, you can actually type a student's name and it'll bring up all of the late records as well. And last but definitely not least, that's really important, this actually facilitates the parent-child custody management when picking up and dropping off a student. So what does that mean? Basically, we work with your student information system and actually have the information as who is eligible to pick up certain children. So when someone scans their license, the students light up that they can actually pick up and so forth. Makes it more secure, safer, and avoids all the drama. So there she is. What does she look like? She is the Optio kiosk. It's a built-in color touchscreen. It has a high definition resolution camera. It has a scanner built into it too, so it can just scan driver's license, IDs, student IDs, anything basically with a 2D barcode can be scanned. And it comes with, once again, the high definition resolution camera because it's very important that we capture the person's picture that's actually on the premise. So that way when the badge gets printed, you have the picture of the person on the actual badge. And then it comes with a thermal label printer, as you can see there, that prints the badge. And it is Wi-Fi enabled, and it's pretty light. I can carry it, so you can move it to different sides of the building if needed. And it is, Wi-Fi. So why is LobbyGuard the best choice? Based on the discussions that we've been having with your district, I accommodated a couple of reasons. Here's my few of the top ones. First and foremost, the system's compatible with your Synergy student database. So that better facilitates the whole custody management feature. In addition, although it's a turnkey solution, you guys are still eligible to customize it based on your own processes and so forth. So we'd give you the keys to the kingdom, basically, to enhance your own processes. And let's see, it also scans the driver's license in less than a second with 100% accuracy, so it's pretty sleek, it's pretty fast. It doesn't require the use of unsafe ActiveX technology or older updated web browsers. We use Microsoft Azure, which is huge with government entities, and I know ITs all love that feature as well because it's very secure. It records today's visitor photo instead of a driver's license photo from years ago because I know for a fact that I do not look like myself on my driver's license. So I would rather have a real-time photo captured so that you know that the right person is walking in and not some person that stole someone's license per se. It provides all the features, one price, no hidden fees. It's all built into one package. There's no surprises. One thing that I know for a fact you guys really thought was important was that we offer a mobile app that can have specific features as far as like checking out people. So say, for example, you can give that to administrative people only and have them check out on the go per se. So obviously only administration, but that was a huge feature that I know that the district really thought was important. Last but not least, because I'm kind of important, you have local presence. Me, Michelle, I can come out and assist you in addition to LobbyGuard support. I will help facilitate the rollout of the project and, of course, better facilitate just the management of the whole solution. I'm sorry, you had a question, yes?
What about people who do not have a driver's license?
When people don't have a driver's license, so let me move this up a little bit. We can actually create a workflow where they type in their name and their birthday, and then on top of that, we obviously capture their picture. And we don't have to do that all the time. We can schedule them as a frequent visitor as well, so that way each time that they visit, they don't have to go through those whole processes. So obviously, it's up to your guys' business rules how you want to handle that with the visitor policy. I don't know if you want to have someone pick up a child without an ID.
Right.
But in the fact that they don't have an ID, you can still have them type in their name, type in their birthday, and it still does a check. And then it'll check to see if that person is eligible to pick up a child also, if you're looking at the custody management side.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions before I move on? No? Okay. So the total cost calculation. So we're looking right now at 29 units spread across. They're $3,200 each apiece. So the total would be $92,800. To keep the system alive, we have an annual software care and support at $450 annually per unit. So that would be $13,050 annually. So the first year would be $105,850. Shipping and installation one-time fee, $5,000. That includes a lobby guard certified tech that will come out on site, providing training for the staff and so forth. And then a depot warranty is included on all the kiosks for the first year, so there's no investment for that. And basically what that means, if anything goes wrong, we'll come out and replace the unit completely. Total cost is $110,850. And to keep the service maintained and ongoing, it would be $13,050 annually, which is the $450 on a year two on an annual basis. Implementation and timeline schedule. So the pre-start, so after this meeting, if I'm not mistaken, and Gordon, you can help me here, but information is going to be sent out after the board meeting to inform students, staff, parents, and the community about the pilot program. And then the communication is also going to be sent out through different social media platforms, along with parent links and parent letters. And in addition, during the month of March, for the pilot schools that we're going to be doing a trial period for, which will be 30 days, which will be for Warner, Frisbee, and Carter. Beforehand, we're going to be conducting a training for them. So for the month of March, I didn't write the dates because we still have to determine the dates, but we're going to be doing a training for those 3 schools, and then we're going to place the system and have them utilize it to make sure it's a good fit and so forth. And this is all, customization as far as like, just to kind of give you a little bit of a brief overview of how the implementation goes. Say everything goes great, week 5 and 6, you guys would issue a PO for the rest of the units. We'd schedule a pre-install meeting. It's very organized, so we have like a whole project management team that will facilitate that as well, along with me as your account manager. And then week 6 and 8, we'll set up the accounts, we'll deliver all the kiosks, we'll do a lunch and learn. And then most importantly, when all of this gets installed and everyone's rocking and rolling, we follow up with a project follow-up meeting, making sure you guys are all taken care of. These are next. Any questions so far? Or? Okay.
Well, I do have a question.
Are we done?
The presentation is. Do you have questions?
Yeah.
Please, go ahead.
Oh, are we turning the light on? Because it doesn't feel like it's done when the lights are still off.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you allowed to? Oh.
Please, go ahead.
So, okay, whose idea was this? Whose idea was this? Okay, I need to know why. Just tell me why first. Why and where and the impetus for this idea?
Because of, the reason is accountability. Accountability and oversight and responsibility for who comes onto our campuses. It allows us to put in another layer of safety measures on our campuses so that we are able to determine and have a lot more control in terms of who's entering our campuses, where they're going when they come onto our campuses, how long they're there, and when did they leave. The system that we now have in place is basically one where there is not as much accountability as this would be. A person can come in and sign in on a log sheet, and we don't really know how long that they're there. We may not be as up to date in terms of checking for IDs as well as we should, where this particular system that we're looking at putting in place here, that's exactly what it's supposed to do. It is not simply a visitor management system in as much as it is designed to be a security management system. And that's why this should have been in place a long time ago. We're doing what is called catching up. So we have an obligation to have this system in place. Whether we go with this system or some other system, it needs to be done.
So my other question was the whole rollout. So I went to look at just the list of references. So what's the largest district that you've worked in thus far? Based on the schools, couple of schools I just looked up, they're smaller school districts. I only looked up 3, but
Right.
they're in the IE. So
Hemet Unified School District
Hemet
is huge.
roughly the same as us.
Yeah, they've been a customer of ours for a very long time, since 2005, I believe, or 7, one of the two. And they've actually had different systems of ours. They've upgraded through the years, and they're very happy. So, very structured. San Jacinto has us, Arcadia, Banning. I just signed up El Centro, Desert Christian Schools. And then once again, obviously, we're across other vertical markets as well. Like the San Antonio Spurs have us. I mean, yeah.
Right. My concern is only around school districts, specifically those with comparable size to us and comparable population.
Okay.
So my biggest question is really about a violation of people's rights as far as the investigation. Because of the depth that the system will allow it to go to, I'm concerned about delving too deep into someone's background for them to visit a classroom to watch their kid or whatever.
Right.
So I'm thinking about our parents, our community people who are coming into this, and that I'm just thinking about what happens when it goes too far. So I know there are levels, and how was that going to be regulated specifically?
Right.
And specifically because I don't want this to be a hindrance to any of my parents if they don't have an ID.
Right.
That's really it.
Okay. So
how do we do that, and what does that mean for a system like this for someone in that situation?
Okay. One of the things that she mentioned earlier is that it's customizable. The district decides how far this goes. The district decides what questions we will ask and what questions we will not ask. We customize it the way we want it to be. It does not have to look like anyone else's system, but it needs to look like the system that we want it to have, that it's accomplishing the intent for which we purchased it for. That's the reason why it was important for us in the assessment period when the safety assessment team met with Lobby Guard, is that was one of the features that it had to have.
Okay.
That it allows us the freedom to make it look like what we want it to look like, but that it definitely addresses the needs that we need to be addressed. So that it's not simply a technological version of the paper version that we already have in place. The last thing we need is something that looks like it's doing something that it's really not doing. We want people to know that we are conscientious about who is coming into our campuses and that we're taking the appropriate measures to put in another screening level. The community needs to know that. Our students need to know that there is a sense of blanket of safety and security around them, and that we're taking the appropriate measures to put those things in place. And so that's the reason why myself as the chief, I'm pushing this forward without any hesitation, that we need to have this in place, and it should have been in place a long time ago.
And so my concern is not necessarily that we need to have a measure of safety and know who's on the campuses. My thing is how far it goes.
Right.
And to limit people's access and to violate people's rights.
There's work
So the other piece is, so I know there's a pilot period. So the other questions I have, and I think that my reservations stem around two things. Luckily, you said we customize it, the district makes the customization on what kind of questions that they ask. Then recommendation is that when we decide that it not be solely the district's response, that there be other people in on when they decide the questions.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So that it's not.
That's already in place right now. Chief Leary is not the one that did the assessment. Chief Leary is just simply the coordinator. The assessment is a safety assessment team that's made up of risk management, IT, communications, health services, student services, and maintenance and operations, and the safety department. These represent the department heads of those that felt it was necessary to bring this type of a program into play. We discussed it, and then we started to look at different visitor management systems that were out there. This was the one that stood out among the rest that had the features that we were looking for. Some of them fell short in many different areas, such as the technological piece. Many of them didn't measure up to what we felt like we needed.
I want to stop you there, Chief.
Okay.
I'm good on that.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that when this is how this goes, that the questions that are asked that become a part of the final screening for people to come on campus, that it not just be solely the folks at the top. Meaning, because it has to be manageable and feasible and realistic for those who actually have to go through the system to go on campus. So I'm just asking that as a recommendation.
You will have that assurance. That's the reason why we're having this conversation right now.
Okay.
Is because we're not trying to sneak it past you. We want you to know what we're doing. We want you to be directly involved in it, so that when it is put into play, that you had a say-so in it in terms of understanding exactly what it was that was being introduced. That is the other thing. The other reason that we're piloting it this way is because we want the community to be fully aware.
Okay.
We want our parents to be fully aware. We want to be able to have open forums with our parents about this system, so that when it's rolled out, everybody understands why we're doing it.
Okay. And then the last thing was the period between the trial period, week 1 through 4, and then actually implementation, meaning purchasing, that I feel that there needs to be a gap between the time that it actually rolls out and there be that cooling off period, the kind of assessment of how and where it was implemented, what was the strategies across the district, not just, oh my God, it was wonderful at one school and 18 of our other schools are like, it was a madhouse, it was a nightmare, right? So that there's a period in between the actual 30-day trials until the time that if we decide to implement, to purchase, that we go in, to purchase. That it not just be, we end 30 days and on day, the first day of the next month, we're like, we're purchasing. That there has to be that time to really assess whether or not it was effective and what kind of looks, and the kinks and everything.
I'll just
phases too.
I'll just simply say absolutely.
Then I'm done with my question.
Okay. Ms. O'Kelly.
I have a rather logistical question. Where would these kiosks be placed?
The kiosk will be at the primary entry point at every school. Where the kiosk is placed will also require that other infrastructural modifications be done, so that you can't just walk past the kiosk.
Well, that's my question, because I know my high schools, I know the middle schools.
Absolutely.
They can go right by, and they
Right.
have
No.
for years. So that's a lot of money there too to
Or
have.
jump the fence.
Right. Because somehow you've got to give them access to the kiosk, and so then what's it do? Open a locked door so they can go through it?
Well, modifications have already been made, are already underway, that are set up that way now, that unless you're trying to come onto the campus some other way.
Which they do too.
Right. We understand that that is another area that's an ongoing area that we address. But for those that are legitimately coming into the school campuses, the campuses have already been modified to a great extent, especially at our elementary schools, with the fencing and the gates and so forth, and the wrought iron fencing that's been put up, to where you have to come into the front office area. You can't go into any other part of the campus unless you decide to jump the fence and try to come on that way. But for those that are coming in legitimately, the campuses are already being modified so that this particular system will work with those
Well, I
modifications.
know specifically, just thinking here, of the way Rialto High and Eisenhower are both designed. The kids go through that front door too. So now we're trying to close off some of it so the visitors can't walk past the kiosk, but at the same time we got to get 2,500 kids through that door.
Right.
That's not going to work.
The modifications are the changes that have to be made at each of the schools. If you had remember that I said M&O was part of the team, of the assessment team. That's one of the things that we are currently working on with what modifications have to be made. It is something that we feel like it's serious enough, the safety of our students is serious enough that we need to move forward with both this and those modifications as well.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, but I need to see the modifications to see if you need to go over that with the school principals to see if that's going to work.
The school principals that are part of the pilot program, we've already sat down with them, and they're fully aware of what things we have to put in place for the pilot to be successful.
Well, I think at the elementary level, it's a little easier to do this, but at the middle school and high school level, it can be, especially the high schools, it can be more challenging.
Granted that some of the areas are more challenging than others, but the good thing is that all of the schools don't present the same level of challenge for this system to be able to work. We're not talking about all 29 schools. We're only talking about a handful that we need to address that way.
Okay.
Are there other questions? Mr. Ayala.
I guess in a perfect world, we'd have the answers to all our problems, but in our challenges. I can see us moving in a positive direction with a system like this. It's a good start. I guess some of my concerns would be, the overload, and maybe you don't use the system all the time. For example, first day of school, you have all the parents showing up and they want to walk with their children, take them to the classroom. And I could see where you have just one kiosk there with just one computer. It would be prohibited. It would be mass confusion. If that could be resolved in the future somehow, this would benefit everyone. Another concern would be when the parents come to pick up their children and they show up all at one time and you have one kiosk, you have one computer. If there's a way to streamline that for greater flexibility, this system would be huge. This would be huge. It would be a slam dunk.
Yeah.
But just thought I'd throw that out.
That's great comments and concerns. I think the way we would resolve it, going back to it, would be the workflows. We create it, how in-depth you want to get, how many questions you want to. That way it actually expedites the whole checkout and check-in process. So with that said, we can just have 3 simple questions, and that way it just prints a badge and so forth. You don't have to go through all the tedious steps and have people wait in line and it be a slow process. We can make it simple and fast, or we can make it long and detailed. It's really up to you guys and how you want to customize it to make it your own.
Because we've had some serious heated parents when they can't walk their kids to the classroom, and the principal's trying to do a good job, but yet there's got to be a balance there of safety, and safety's first, and then there's complaints. But if we can learn to address these issues as they come up, I mean, this is a good start. It's a good start. But resolve these more complicated problems, this would be huge. It'd be huge.
That's a good point, but I also think as a parent, you probably, if you see a system, you're like, okay, but I understand what it's doing. It's keeping my child safe.
No, I
so I'll
understand.
wait an extra minute to check in, as opposed to not having something in play.
It's that unsophisticated uncle that shows up and has the duty to pick up, and they don't really want to do that, but they want in and out.
I understand.
Yeah.
Ms. O'Kelly.
Along the same line, when we have honor roll assemblies and student performance assemblies and things like that, we have massive amounts of parents coming in at the same time.
Right. once again, it's up to the school if they even want to utilize that system to check in people. I'm not sure if they're doing it now, but if they do it that way and they decide to, there's a feature on there where you can select event mode, whereas you just grab the person's name, they check in, and that's it. They don't have to have a badge printed. Once again, it's going back to designing the workflows and setting up a committee meeting and deciding what's going to be important, what to ask, and so forth.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Just don't want a bottleneck.
Okay.
I know.
Okay, I do have questions and concerns. First of all, I know that it's been in use at other school districts, so whatever their best practices are, please bring them to Chief, and he can bring them to us. I fall on the other side of concerns because in a row, students, staff, and community, parents fall in community for me. So with what's in the news this past couple of weeks, I want to know who's on campus. And if there are red flags, we have to abide by that. But safety is my utmost concern for our students. Okay, so that being said, I have more to say on it, but question for you. Has it ever been fooled? Has a device ever been fooled? Meaning, I'm Joe Martinez, I have a driver's license, it can be scanned, but if I have bad intent and I say, well, I don't have an ID, okay, put your name down, John Doe. Does it also do a backup safety scan by my picture, or is it strictly by whatever info I get put down?
One thing that it does do is, that's the reason we like to have the person take a picture, because sometimes I'll use me as an example. Michelle Wong, I am a registered sex offender in Utah. I have the same name, the same birthday, and I walk up to the system and it alerts Chief that I'm on site, but that's not really me, that's a different person, but I have the same name.
Yes.
So what it does on the portal, on the cloud-based portal, it's going to pop up as an alert for him. He's going to get an actual picture of the criminal, and he's going to get a picture of me, and then he can see match, hit match, or reject. In the meantime, while that's happening and all the action, all the kiosk is going to do is going to say, please have a seat. And it's not going to like go crazy and no alert's going to go on. It's just going to say, please have a seat. And what the, we can customize it, whereas whatever it is that you want it to say. But the fact of the matter is he gets the alert, he sees the pictures, and he can say it's a match or not a match. And then obviously protocol, whatever your protocol is after that, he goes to the site and so forth.
Okay, thank you. In the rollout plan, we can definitely put things together.
And don't say, please have a seat. Most of our schools in those locations don't have any seats.
It will not put, please have a seat. We'll just say, please
there
wait
are a couple of
patiently.
things
Please
we can
wait.
front load
There
it
you go.
with.
Yeah.
One of them are for right now, parents to update their emergency cards. And I say this a couple of times a year. If you know grandma and aunt and uncle are going to pick students up, let us know now.
Right.
That way there's no drama, as you put it, because there tends to be. We can enroll parents if they're planning on coming often. We can enroll parents when we enroll students. There's always ways around it. Getting back to student safety, I'd want Chief to know, get alerted. And if we have to walk somebody through, that's fine. I don't want to limit access to a student of a parent. I want to make sure that the other students are safe. So we've got some work to do on it, but it can be worked out. I like the idea, but all the legal limits, we have to, make sure we fall within that. But again, my concerns are straightforward: student, staff, community. So, any other questions or comments?
May I add? As far as legality, we don't store any information unless you want us to, but we don't store any of the driver's license information or ID. All it's doing is just grabbing the name, the birthday, just making sure that that's not a match with the Megan's Law and Family Watchdog. But we don't store any information whatsoever on our server.
Okay, okay. Chief, you've heard our concerns. Let them marinate and, make a report, make a recommendation. I see the April 1st tentative rollout, and I'm sure the board will work on it because, you need 3 votes. So not all of us are here today. But thank you. Michelle, thank you for the presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, we are up to C, comments. Public comments from the floor. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes.
We have some public comment.
Please.
We have Nitra Smith.
Welcome. Please speak into the mic.
Okay, so I have a couple of concerns.
Okay, you have 3 minutes.
I've talked to the school district several times since August. I've talked to Ms. Serrato, Mr. Bruce Kelly, and today I talked to Mr. Duffy. I've been trying to get in contact with the superintendent. As far as the transfer of my kids, I have 2 kids, a 1st grader and a 3rd grader. They go to Garcia. First it was their education, now it's their safety. I don't have no homework sent home, never. Their homework is strictly done on Footsteps to Brilliance. That's the only homework I see. I don't see no spelling, no anything. And as far as the mayor and I think the superintendent said, our children should be reading at a certain age, at a certain grade level. Yes. My daughter is in 3rd grade. She still does not know how to read. Okay, and I've asked for help several times, no help. I've talked to the principal, the school, the teacher, just about everybody, Mr. Bruce Kelly, rude, not helping, just not. No homework sent home. They just barely got my daughter, and I begged for my son to get in tutoring with my daughter. They just started tutoring last month. And safety concerns. A little girl has brought a bullet to school in my daughter's class to show and tell, I suppose. That was first. They've been locked down 4 times since, I believe, December or November. Well, Monday, my son was almost taken over the fence by an intruder. And the school was locked down. Colton PD was informed, and I don't feel that my kids are safe there. Morris, I know I can look over my fence at my kids and make sure that they're safe, make sure nothing's going on. I've never had no child, none of my kids, and I've been in that school district for over 18 years, getting taken from Morris. And I feel that they were doing good there. And no one's helped me out. I've asked for help several times. I spoke to Ms. Serrato. I spoke to Mr. Bruce Kelly several times, and no one's offered no help. He told me he was going to get back to me. He informed me, as well as Ms. Serrato, that my kids were going to be on a waiting list. I talked to Morris. They said there is no waiting list.
Okay. Bottom line, it sounds like you want to transfer your children to Morris. Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
Okay, Dr. McDuffie, would you facilitate that with Dr.
We'll look
Avila?
into it. I spoke with her this afternoon, and we're working with staff to see what we can do.
Okay, please get back with her as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
He will do it. The superintendent is probably watching. He's out of town at a conference that he's presenting at.
Yeah, I keep on getting the runaround like they're going to take care of it, such and such is going to take care of it. He told me Mr. Bruce Kelly told me he was going to give me a call. Never no call. Okay. Never nothing. And so it's really far for me to get to the school. And so my mom's kind of disabled, so she can just go right outside the back door and go across the street and get my kids. Other than that, I work in Norwalk, California, and I can't, it's going to take me at least 2-3 hours to get back from Norwalk.
On a good day.
On a good day.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. McDuffie will let the superintendent know. And please let me know what the outcome is so I know things are in line, worked on. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have Russell Silva.
Welcome.
Good evening, board members, administration, and viewing audience. I really wasn't intending on getting up here and speaking, but I was listening to the presentation, and I kind of thoughts were coming through my mind about this. Do we need to know who's on campus? Do we need to know what's going on? Do we need to have that type of protection for our students and our staff? Yes, we do. However, if we look at all of our campuses the way they are set up right now, the monetary work that would need to go in to convert those campuses to be able to make these kiosks work effectively, that's far more than the $118,000 or $13,000 they want to do for these kiosks. It might be that just for one campus, especially a high school or a junior high. We also have situations such as the back gate at Warner Elementary. Now I know it's closed because we've had issues from it, but still, those are access points that people can get into the campus. Because we also have a rear gate, I think, at Frisbee Junior High as well.
Yes.
So now we're in a situation where parents who used to be doing what they used to do now have to go doing things a different way. And it's going to cause frustration. It's going to cause delays. And there's going to be that coming up. So that's another issue. What is also going to prevent people from lying at the very beginning? Getting false information put into this. How are we going to control that? Why aren't we looking at doing something more serious? Like, I mean, I understand that we need to control who's on campus, but we also need to control what's on campus as well. Why aren't we looking into doing something like metal detectors to make sure we don't have weapons on campus? Since 2010 to present, there have been in the nation, in the United States, more than 140 active shooter situations on schools, and that's just school sites, from elementary all the way up to college level. How are we going to protect the kids against those? We don't want to become one of those other schools. And I understand this is going to cost a lot, but so is the metal detectors. But when are we going to you can't put a price on a child's life. Right. So we have to look at doing that. If we do pursue this identification thing, is staff involved with it? Like classified staff, because they're the ones that are actually doing it right now. Mm-hmm. And is their input being put in here? So how that stuff can be cleared? These are just questions I had.
Please, they're all good questions, and I'm sure there's more from the community.
Yeah, and I know you can't respond to them, but they're just questions I wanted to throw out there to have you think about, mull about, and because this is a serious situation.
Your time's up, sir.
I understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Harrison, do you carry a metal detector, or is there one?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I apologize. No, I do not.
Are they available to our campuses?
They are.
Thank you, but they're the handhelds. Okay, thank you. Okay.
We have
Dr.
one more
McDuffie?
speaker, Paula Bailey.
Welcome again. Different hat.
Yes, a different cap. And Dina, great colors tonight. I mean, Miss Walker. Board and Mr. McDuffie. As an individual that goes out into the community due to my regular job, I do go to different school districts, and this is in regards to the security system we're looking at. And for instance, I went to one in Riverside County yesterday, and I couldn't even go to an IEP that was in the office until I handed them my driver's license. But that was just handled by the receptionist that was at the front door. There wasn't a kiosk or anything, because just like many of you, you're picturing what these schools are like. And I'm like, okay, elementary, yeah, we can't walk them to the classroom. We can't go to the classroom to pick them up, except for kindergarten. They have to. Middle school, we really don't get to go all the way in unless we're doing something, but just the dynamics and the cost of putting these kiosks, I'm just curious how that would work. Because the way the doors are set up, I mean, if anything, something internal so you can't go past somewhere. I'm just thinking of Coursera, how there's 2 walkways and you have a receptionist at the front. You know, if anything, maybe some doors so they can't go through unless they're buzzed in to go past that section and they stop at that person. But I'm just really concerned, like Mr. Silva is, about, you know, if you're going to ask them questions, who's going to say the correct answer? And, you know, I get, you know, having some kind of ID.
Kind of like your age on a driver's license.
Or your weight.
All right.
We're like, wait a minute. No, that was wrong. I wasn't born that year. It was, you know, turn that number. Yeah. You know, that's just my concern. Because, like, when I went to the school, that, you know, yesterday, I just handed my ID. I wasn't even allowed to go into a room in the office until I handed some type of ID. And, you know, it's not that I don't want parents not to be on campus, but if we had a system that was as simple as that, not a big kiosk that we're going to have to put a structure, because who's going to walk past it anyway when it's chaotic, you know, I would have been like, are you kidding? You have questions for me? You know, I just want to get where I'm going. I have a meeting to go to. So, I mean, that would be my concern about spending all that money, and if there's another alternative that, you know, those schools that already have those existing receptionists, like for, you know, to have that. Because I'm just even thinking about Fitzgerald. You walk in, you have such a tiny little lobby there. Where would you put something?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's small. You have 3 chairs and a counter. There's no place for that. Oh, I'm out of time. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Dr. McDuffie?
No more.
Okay, thank you. Going through some emotions over what's in the news and comments and so forth, but I'm sure the board will comment on that at the appropriate time. So public comments on the agenda items. Any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Dr. McDuffie.
Do we have any?
We don't have any at this time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, comments item 3, comments from association executive board members. Rialto Education Association, REA. Anyone in the house? They're not here, okay. California School Employees Association, CSEA. They're not here. Communication Workers of America, CWA. I saw a rep. There she is. Welcome.
I was just going to say in regards to the buzz-in that the one woman was saying, that one of our San Bernardino schools, they have the parking lot, and when you go up to gate, you press the button, and I guess they must see your face, and it looks like there's a little camera there, and they determine, okay, can you come in, can you not come in? And they will let you in at that point, and then you go up to the office and do your procedure. So I kind of like the idea of the buzz-in. I also like the idea of the fact that you could take a picture of somebody's face if they do happen to come and not have an ID. That way, if anything weird happens, you've got their picture.
Yes.
So it just kind of working out how that can be done. And thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the comments. Okay, Rialto School Managers Association, RSMA. Okay, I'm getting the sign from him back, so. Thank you, Derek. Okay, comments from the superintendent or Dr. McDuffie.
Thank you, President Martinez.
Tonight, I am sitting here on behalf of Dr. Avila, who will be back tomorrow. Superintendent Avila is in Sacramento, building relations and networking for funding and other resources for our teachers and students. He's also promoting Rialto's environmental literacy movement. Before leaving, though, both Dr. Avila and I attended the 5th grade water day this past Friday, where students at the Chavez Huerta Center went through some very engaging activities over water conservation, the water cycle, the science of water. I actually didn't want to leave because I was so engaged in the activities that they had set up for all our 5th graders. I want to thank Dr. D'Souza and Juanita Chen for organizing this amazing event with their partnership with Viola Water. This week, I attended, for myself as well as on behalf of Dr. Avila, some awesome, two awesome events. This past Monday, the second annual DAPAC's Black History Celebration was held at Carter High School Theater Hall. Great attendance. I saw Ms. Walker and Mrs. O'Kelly enjoying their evening. I was excited at the chance to view some talented students in our district on stage, along with an engaging keynote speaker, Captain Barrington Irving, who had some powerful words of wisdom for our students and our parents. I also want to thank Teresa Brown, our Central Office Administrator, who is also the DAPAC Coordinator for the district, DAPAC President Ms. Brenda Parker, Vice President Mr. Paul Scott, and DAPAC began with our board member Andina Walker's vision, and so we want to thank you as well. We want to make sure this continues, and thank you to the countless volunteers who threw their hearts into this event. Yesterday, and I know Dr. Avila had told me I would really enjoy the talented students that we have here in Rialto, and the Eisenhower's Black Star Power was absolutely delightful. It was great. Miss Stephanie Chamberlain's Ike Singers and the Werner Elementary School Werner Stars, the Ike Band, they had dancers, they had steppers, they had spoken word. It was absolutely a great event to be involved with. Mrs. O'Kelly was in attendance, as was former board member Mrs. Joanne Gilbert, who was also a keynote speaker. I want to thank the Principal Sparks, for giving our students, presenting them awards, and also I want to thank, and credit goes out to the Assistant Principal, Dr. Jackson, who worked hard to coordinate a great event showcasing Ike students. It was a great time. I'm looking forward to next year's events. And finally, I want to end by saying and just mentioning quickly in regards to the latest tragedy in Florida. All over Southern California, there have been all types of social media threats through Southern California and the country. And talks of school and gun violence grew rapidly. And this week we've been busy. As a parent myself, we also felt the hysteria, the emotions, and the concerns. We're always finding ways to make safety better here at Rialto. Tonight you heard about Lobby Guard from our Chief Gordon Leary, and we will continue to look at ways to keep our school community safe. I want to be the first to remind us that under this Board of Education and Dr. Avila's leadership, school safety will remain a #1 priority. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, McDuffie. Appreciate that. And Student Board Member Herrera, please.
Hi, good evening, everyone. First, I want to give a shout out to Carter High School Wrestling. They did a great tournament. I heard on the front of the agenda. It's great. Shout out to all my friends on the wrestling team. And a shout out to the soccer team there. They did a hard fought game against what was it? remember the team, but it was a hard-fought loss. But get them back next year. I also want to say our basketball team at Myler won today's game, our season ender. We're going to playoffs Friday. We're ending the season off 7-3. First rounds. Go Mustangs, yes. First rounds, as I said, Friday against Sierra. And my next comments are towards our students at Rialto. If you see a student during passing period or just alone during the halls, I strongly suggest you approach them and just with a nice attitude and just become friends with somebody that looks like out of place or feels like that need just to talk to or needs a friend. Right? Maybe at lunch, sit with somebody you see alone. I think that would help our students come together, and I think that would make our schools not safer, but just grow as a community and not just see each other in the halls and say hello, but make an effort to really communicate with other people. And I think that's all I got to say about that.
Excellent.
Okay, Board Member Ayala.
Well, thank you, President Martinez. Tonight, I'd like to share some thoughts concerning our kids as they graduate from high school and go to college for their first year. Going to college, as many of us know, can be a very complicated venture. For example, there's pressures on students from their families to achieve. There's pressures for staff to pass our kids and move them in a positive direction. We understand how that works, but the reality is some of our kids end up at these higher level institutions and they don't make the grade, they struggle. And the point is it can be very, very disheartening for our kids when they reach those crossroads in their lives. And that's kind of the purpose of my comments tonight, is to find ways to help alleviate those pressures so that our kids, when they reach those crossroads, aren't destroyed. They have options. So, sometimes planning ahead. So if you have children who are on their way to college, somewhere along the line, maybe you should have monitored, even though they got A's and B's and they qualified, but you should have monitored, maybe had some discussions. Do you really know your math? Do you know how to write? Do you know the basics? How are you at test taking? You get this feeling whether they're confident, whether they're going to need more support. And maybe it's not a bad idea to prepare alternatives before they even go to college, so they're not destroyed. So let's just say halfway through the year, your child is not doing very well, but they have open communication with you. They trust you. And they come up to you and say, it's not working out. I'm taking all these classes. Well, you ask them, have you made a reasonable effort to find success? What have you done for yourself? See, a lot of our kids, they get lost. They're comfortable at home. This is the nest. And when they leave, maybe they're leaving a boyfriend or a girlfriend. That's complicated too. And they miss their boyfriend, their girlfriend, and they're away from home. And they don't have the same support group. Our kids today are a little more in touch with the social media. They have these phones, they have computers. They don't go outside and play like we used to. Playing wiffle ball and playing baseball and playing football and playing basketball and doing all these outside sports where you build social skills. You fall and you pick up and you walk it off. They're different. They learn, they teach themselves on YouTube. It's a kind of a YouTube generation. That's not a bad thing. But we just don't want our kids to be destroyed. So, in summary here, okay, it's not a bad idea to talk to your children before they graduate and find out where are they really. Not to destroy them, you don't want to discourage them, but say, you know, you have a boyfriend, girlfriend here. I know you want to go to Harvard. Have you considered maybe a local school? And if you find success there, then let's consider Harvard. But, you know, sometimes the local schools are a great choice for many of our kids. Maybe they don't have the Ivy League status, but, you know, if you're going from point A to point B, that's really what you're trying to do. You're trying to find ways to have those doors open for you. So, in closing, let's have a plan for our kids. Let's take the time to talk to them. Let's have an exit plan or a plan that gives them more options so we don't destroy them if they reach those doors that are closing on them too early. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. Well, Ms. Walker, come to you.
Okay, so just want to say thank you, Chief, for bringing us the plan around increasing the safety of our schools, the opportunity for a new idea for us to figure out how do we keep people who shouldn't be on campus in the most strategic way, I believe. And as Ms. O'Kelly said about, you know, the multiple ways people enter campuses, because even at where I live, I watch kids hop the fence over to this. I'm like, really? How did you? Yeah. You know, how'd you even get over there? So just to watch and think about what are those alternatives, which are cost effective for us and actually will be effective. So that's the real big deal. And of course, not limiting people's access. And that's a big, for me, making sure that parents have their opportunity to come and be involved in their kids' education. So it's not to say that we don't need this or to want that. That's not where I'm at. I'm just making sure that whatever we do, that it won't limit the access for parents to be involved in their children's education. The other thing, March 2nd is Cal Grant FAFSA priority deadline date. So any of you who have children, grandchildren, aunts, nieces, nephews, anybody, or you yourself who are planning to go back to school, the priority date for filing financial aid is March 2nd. However, there is a myth that people think that after March 2nd that you cannot do it any longer. That is untrue. So please, if you have family members or anybody who doesn't make the March 2nd date, guess what? The world's not ending. March 3rd, do it. You have another, well, actually, you have actually a year, really, to actually still do your FAFSA even from that time. So please encourage people to make sure that they do that. And lastly, I'd just like to say thank you. Awesome turnout for the second annual Black History celebration for the district. It was really a district effort. I am just, you know, I praise everybody for the work that they did. Everybody who volunteered, pitched in, came, showed up, printed a certificate in the district, sent out an invitation, put out phone calls. I mean, answered all my quirky questions, or sent me things I needed or whatever, and the board. And just supported in so many different ways to make the event great. There were literally, they said the building holds like 700 or something people. There had to be upwards of 600 people in the room, in the auditorium. So it was just awesome. And there what? Standing and sitting in the halls. It was exciting. It was exciting because the day pack really was, they really felt like they had done something, right? Collaborated with the district, the community, everything to really make it happen. And for those of you who are in our district who actually even got their family members to come and help out in the district, so congratulations and thank you to our own Miss Rhea MacGyver Gibbs for in this short time found us a caterer that could get food in on time and make sure that nobody didn't eat that night. It was just a great opportunity and showcased our kids. So many kids had, one of the things was this contribution in STEAM, but they gave certificates to the students who received A's and B's in math and science. Right. And so the number of students, when we sat down in the committee, and so, yes, I'm on the committee because I'm a day pack parent, because I have a parent, I happen to be African American, and I, for those of you who didn't know, I'm Black. So.
I never knew.
Right. And my daughter, so I actually sit on the advisory council as well. And so we came up with that idea. One of the members came up with the idea, and we said, "Oh, well, yeah, we'll do that." And then we came back with the number of how many students received A's and B's in math, elementary all through high school. The number was like 600. It was insane. But it was also a very, uplifting time to know that kind of number and say these kids really are doing well. Right. So it just gave us an opportunity to really celebrate them and their families in that thing. So thank you to the district and everybody who supported the great event. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent report. Okay, Clerk O'Kelly, it's all yours.
Yes, hello. And I want to thank everybody for coming tonight or watching us on TV or their computer or whatever. Hi. Hope you're having a good night. First, I want to piggyback a minute on what Eric was saying, because you said something very, very profound and very needed about talking to a student that seems to be by himself. And I wish I could remember where this happened, but there was a high school that started a program through ASB or whatever to not let any child on that campus eat lunch alone.
Oh, right.
And it was wonderful. It was hugely successful, and these kids who had spent most of their lives sitting by themselves, I love it. And I would like to request that our high schools all develop some kind of a plan to make sure we are reaching out to those students, like the Don't Eat Lunch Alone program. I really feel that would be amazing.
I'd like to add, I got that idea from Mr. Doty from Carter High School.
Right.
It was a great program. I was in it, so yeah. Just sorry.
Awesome.
Go ahead. Continue.
It's okay. It's awesome. You brought up something that's so, because when they start talking about some of these students who have done these shootings and things, there's a long history of loneliness and not being accepted there, and we've got to face that. If they had ever had friends, I think the outcome would have been totally different.
Yeah.
I'd also have several district entities to congratulate tonight. Congratulations to Garcia Elementary School cheer team. They earned second place in the JAMS National Cheer Competition in Las Vegas. If you haven't seen the Garcia Elementary School cheerleaders, they are just adorable, and they are so good. They're really very good. Congratulations to Rialto High School girls soccer team. They beat Riverside Prep in the semifinals of the CIF Southern Section Division 6 girls soccer playoffs, and now they get to move on to the championship game for the first time in their history. So we're very proud of that. Congratulations also to Rialto High School cheer squad. They placed, listen to this, first at regionals, first at state, first at Best of the West, and nationwide, they placed third, but that's pretty good for nationwide. So congratulations to the cheerleaders. I wanted to congratulate Eisenhower because they did do an absolutely wonderful Black History celebration, a site-based, and they have been doing this every year, and they serve dinner. It's all free, so next year, remember. And their theme was Black Star Power through Service and Innovation. And of course, we had outstanding student performances of all types, which demonstrated the incredible and unique talent of our youth. Principal Sparks honored, I think Dr. McDuffie already mentioned this, but he honored numerous African American students who had been nominated by their teachers for demonstrating true Black star power in their core values. That's as big, they use an old term for Eisenhower. They used to say Ike Mob. But it had sort of a negative connotation. But under Principal Sparks' leadership, that they changed that, and they made it an acronym for I was for integrity, K was for kindness, and so they had positive values for each of the letters of Ike Mob, and that is now what Ike Mob stands for. And so these kids demonstrated the Ike Mob core values, and they're really awesome. Cool. I also attended the district Black History celebration held at Carter High School. That theme was celebrating African American contributions to STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. This was another incredible event with excellent student performances and an outstanding keynote speaker, Captain Barrington Irving. Captain Irving set 2 world records as the youngest and the first black pilot to fly solo around the world. And he went on to develop what they call the flying classroom. He's flown all over the world. He's been everywhere, done everything. But he designed a K-8 STEM and digital curriculum that challenges students to design solutions to problems he investigates. He had middle school students build a car. He had high school students build a plane, and he flew it the first time.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So, I mean, just amazing. And he is working with our students.
Yep, Frisbee.
At Frisbee, we need to get him everywhere.
Yeah.
So. I mean, it was such a great presentation. He was so inspiring, and I think he could definitely relate to our kids really well. And I also visited the literacy storyboards display at the bistro. Kudos to Jasmine Valenzuela for this creative and exciting activity. Each elementary school had their own storyboard competition where the kids would read a book, and then like a science fair project, you know, the 3-sided board, they developed a storyboard about those books. And oh my gosh, they were just amazing. There were 4 categories. They could contribute as a family, a group, an individual, and a class. And so each school site selected the best and sent them to the district. And it was worth it to go see these. These were just amazing. They were creative. They were original. They were funny. They were just beautiful. I was so glad I went by to see them. And the winners will be announced at the Literacy Fair, which will be at the Cesar Chavez Dolores Huerta Educational Center on March 10th from 8:30 until 12 o'clock. So if you have time that Saturday, get by and see it, because it was really worth it. And that's it for me, so have a great night.
Well, Miss O'Kelly, you've been busy.
Yes, I have been busy.
Okay. I'm going to take a special privilege here and have our Director of Communications share something about. We hear a lot of concerns from parents, and their concerns are, well, here's what's out on the grapevine. We've heard that there's this reported or this reported. How are we going to know about it? How come we don't know about it? And please share how we are communicating and possibly any future communications.
Thank you, President Martinez, for that time. As he stated, my name is Saida Joffrey. I'm the Director of Communications and Media Services, and we have been busy for the last 2 weeks, as has the entire nation school districts, due to, and I know that we do talk about Florida, but remember there's a lot of other tragedies that have been happening aside from Florida. And in respect to Lobby Guard, I heard a lot of people talking here, and remember one thing, staff at the top, sometimes yes, we make decisions at the top, but in this case, the decision has to be made in what's the best interest for the school district. And because usually when these students come out and commit these kind of acts, like one of our DSAC students says there's something wrong, and that usually isn't at the central office, it's at a school site. So when we think about what we have to do, take all of our titles away, we're support staff for the school site. That's what we do. Yep. And we hear about a lot of incidences that happen throughout Corona Norco. We've had Rancho Cucamonga. There have been so many school districts in the Riverside and San Bernardino County that was highlighted in the Sun newspaper, the Daily Bulletin, the Press Enterprise. I was not excluded with that. I was also contacted by various reporters. There's something called innuendos and rumors, and then there's something called facts. And sometimes we have to really look at things in a very rational and a systematic way. We have safety and security working with communications, working with district staff. When we say education and safety is our number one priority, it is. When we say, are we perfect? Absolutely not. Are there any guarantees about tomorrow? There is none. But we're going to do the best that we can because your children deserve it. And we have to do it. And so when you look at the papers, and you were mentioning something about sending parent links out, making sure. I had some parents call me saying, why am I receiving so much information? But I always think, I'd rather give you more information than less information when we can. We are also working with Rialto Police Department. There is some information that every student information is confidential. We cannot discuss everything. And I know sometimes, I think the last 2 weeks I've been called every name but my own name. And so I have to remind our parents, and I understand, I'm okay with that. I can take it, because if it was my child, I would react the same way. So we have to understand that. Now, what we do, all of our schools, and this was just 2 weeks ago, have gone through the safety school plans. We do have safe school plans. Under the leadership of the superintendent and, of course, the Board of Education, our principals have been trained and should be trained and need to be trained over and over and over again. They're wonderful and they're going a mile a minute, but they are trained. They look at information meticulously. The chief is at coffee with the principal. We have our school site principals giving out parent link information whenever an incident comes on board. If they don't do it in a timely manner, we work with them to see how we can fix that. We make sure that we let them know what we are going to be doing when we have our state-of-the-arts new webpage coming on board. We're going to have a section there where we work with Rialto PD, safety and security, and communication, and we give updates. So social media updates. But we have to do things systematically, and we have to be careful about the information that we are sending out. So with our safety school plan, safe school plan, which is also on the webpage, but it is also a poster at every school in the Rialto Unified School District. I think thank you for being the model. It's bigger than that. That is what President Martinez is holding is our safe school plan. And Chief O'Leary goes out with his staff, and they make sure that principals are aware. So please understand, your children are our children, and we have to take that seriously. And I know that there was our lobby guard information device there. I am on the communications team with it. Parents contact us on a daily basis. And did I shut my mic off? Parents do contact us on a daily basis, and we do our best to make sure that we ensure the safety. I was a student and a product of the Rialto Unified School District, and I'm standing out here to say that we do care. We're working every day with the direction of the Board of Education, with the superintendent. There isn't one day where Chief and I do not talk to each other to make sure what's going on at what school and how we can support our hardworking principals, because you're right, the students deserve it, need it, and we have to do it. And safety, if we keep saying safety is number one, we have to put our money where our mouth is and make sure that we hold that promise true. So I think the community does have my contact number, and thanks to the last 2 weeks, they have my personal number, my home number as well. And I don't mind at all, because they need to contact us to find out what's going on. We have to be there for them. So thank you so much for the time. And if there's any other questions, the chief and I are always available to answer them.
Thank you. Excellent. I did that because what's going on in the news, specifically Florida, but I want the community to know that we think about this thing constantly. Safety is constantly being discussed. We've been working on this, maybe not nonstop, but I would say weekly at least. I know Chief is working on it daily. I'm going to make some comments about school safety and what I've already proposed to Dr. Avila, just today as a matter of fact, with the wonders of the internet. I was able to communicate with him. Okay. Don't forget, you can check on our website here at Rialto. You can check Twitter, our Twitter feed, or our Facebook feed. You can check my website, which is always letting you know, or my Twitter account or Facebook account. Both of them are Rialto Board. And that's spelled B-O-A-R-D, not B-O-R-E-D. So, okay. Here are my comments. I propose, they got it. Okay, I propose a resolution to offer free office space in each of our schools for community-based policing. City police or sheriff officer, on or off duty, are and will be welcome. Secondly, I will propose a board policy update. We study best practices that mandate staff to report instances of emotional disturbance and trauma that may open the door to the possibility of violence within legal determinations, of course. While 100% safe schools are what we are attempting to achieve nationwide, historically nationwide, we may actually have 98% or better. This is not good enough. Not good enough for this board, not good enough for myself. Using the home security theory, we must be more secure than our neighboring communities. This will deter outsiders from targeting our hardened schools. Instead, they will go for a softer target. Historically, school shootings tend to be insiders, students, former students, staff or family, members that know times, schedules, and our site security weaknesses. Why do we offer information that only leads to schools being targeted? Gun-free zones have shown that they invite shooters. Why must we do everything that we can to improve school safety? Let me be clear. Increased safety will lead to decreased freedom. Increased safety comes with increased cost, whether in or outside of our schools. Random security searches using dogs to search for guns and explosives must be considered. Searching for weapons must be included. Bags, backpacks, cases must all be on the random search list. Weapons on campus are prohibited, yet I may be carrying and you'd never know it. The difference is my intent. In the mind of those with malintent, the question of staff being armed may be enough to deter them. The Florida incident was over quickly, in about 3 minutes. Law enforcement was on site. It is known that the Rialto PD will respond immediately. Yet travel time, time to assess the location, time to assess the situation, time to run across campus, time to identify the shooter, time to safely engage. The quicker the response, the more lives may be saved. I remain in favor of arming staff. Voluntary deputizing of staff will allow them to carry a gun while minimizing cost. Updated background checks are mandatory, of course. Deputized staff will not be considered police for the purpose of retirement contributions. They will be active only the few minutes that there remains an active threat. Deterrence, real or perceived, will improve security and assist us in achieving more than 98% school safety. This report has been about 3 minutes long. Okay, back to regular business. Thank you. Okay, D on page 3, public hearing. Open public hearing. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Public hearing pursuant to the requirements of government code and board policy. The attached initial 2018-2019 proposal submitted by the Rialto Education Association, REA, for an agreement between the Rialto Education Association, or REA, and the Rialto Unified School District Board of Education is hereby posted in compliance with the legislative requirements per public notice, and it is referenced D as in Delta 1.1-2. Vote by board members, please.
Aye.
Thank
Aye.
you. Thank you.
The time.
Do we have, oh, thank you. The time is 8:53. Do we have any public comment? Anyone wishing? Okay. I need a motion and a second to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Vote by board members?
Aye.
And the time is 8:53. Public information. Williams Inspection 2017-2018 Second Quarterly Report, reference D as in Delta 2.1. If you're interested, it is available as D 2.1 in the backup. In tab D. Consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action. Approve, and I need a motion and a second to approve consent items reference E through J.
Move to approve consent calendar items reference E through J.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions, polls, or discussion? Okay. On page, and I didn't notate it, it is page 7, right before item K is where we vote. So preferential vote by student board member.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye. Sorry.
Thank you. Vote by board members?
Aye.
Aye. Ms. O'Kelly, your vote, please. Oh, I'm,
just finding out we're supposed to go back to closed session to discuss those items.
we have not,
The liability.
okay, which item is that?
1, under discussion action.
We haven't voted on that yet.
But how can we vote on it when we haven't discussed it?
It is,
Oh, I
Yeah.
made the motion. I thought I voted on it. I'm sorry.
no. We haven't gotten to K yet.
Okay.
Okay, your vote, please.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, we are now on K. Do we need to, okay, liability claim, we will have to come back and visit item K1 because we didn't get through that. So we'll have to go back into closed session. At this point, let's look at item K2. And I need a motion and a second for me to read it, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Item K2, to adopt resolution number 17-18-37, authorizing the procurement of Dell laptop computers and Chromebooks under a master agreement and/or piggyback contract, MNWNC-108, WSCANASPO, California Participating Addendum 7-15-70-34-003, the procurement of earthwalk carts under master agreement contract, State of California, multiple award schedule 3-13-70-0697H, and the delegation of authority to the superintendent or superintendent's designee to execute the equipment lease purchase agreement with Dell Financial Services, LLC, dated March 1st of 2018, and any other documents required for this transaction. The annual payment will be $2,993,650.81 for a 3-year lease period beginning on or about May 1st of 2018 for a total cost not to exceed $8,980,952.43 to be paid from the general fund. Discussion, comment?
Well, we've been talking about this for quite some time.
Yes.
20th century here, and you know, kids, when they're learning these disciplines like math, in the past they'd go home, and if they didn't have a brother or sister that had the experience, they were out of luck.
Yes.
Basically, they just closed the book, never even bothered to open it. But now, with technology, even if they're not up to date or caught up with a lesson, they can go back and they can use different senses to learn. It used to be that you'd have to read and interpret, you'd have to have all the vocabulary, but now if you have a video and you have that you can watch on a laptop, and you have lessons, you have more resources available to you, our children are going to have a better chance to succeed in learning these difficult disciplines that they didn't have a chance in the past. So if this is going to help them, I know it's a big number, but you know, we are here for our kids. So how can we say no?
Comments? Follow-up? Okay. It has been recommended that computer science be in every classroom, in every lesson. And moving towards that, this is part of this board's master plan. You may have seen it in the newspaper where you follow it, and you'll see that we are attempting to do our best technology-wise, computer science-wise for our students, and this goes hand in hand with that. Okay, no other comments? Okay, vote by board members?
Aye.
Mr. Ayala, did I hear? Okay. Okay, motion and second on K3, please.
Well, we have to choose 7 in the list to vote on.
Correct. There are 7 incumbents, and that would make it easy.
Yeah, let's do that.
Is that a motion?
I move that we nominate the 7 incumbents.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, the Rialto Unified School District Board of Education will be voting for the following as delegates to the California School Boards Association Delegate Assembly. I have had no problems and heard no complaints about any of the incumbents. The incumbents are Christina Cameron Otero from Needles Unified School District, Barbara Dew from Victor Valley Union High School District, Karen Paisant from Altaloma School District, Barbara Schneider from Hellendale School District, Jane Smith from Yucaipa Calamasa Joint Unified School District, Mark Sumter from San Bernardino County Office of Education, and Donna West from Redlands USD. Okay, comments?
Oh, yes, I wanted to make a change.
Okay, you would like to make a change?
Yes, so for.
Propose an amendment to the motion.
Yes, even though I seconded it. Michael Flores from Ontario Montclair Unified.
To replace who?
To replace, goodness. That I didn't think about. Snyder.
Okay, that's from Hellendale. Okay, we have an amendment to the motion to replace Barbara Schneider from Hellendale School District with Michael C. Flores from Ontario Montclair School District. Can I have a second on the amendment? Okay, we have a second on the amendment. Now, the board will be voting to replace Barbara Schneider with Michael C. Flores. Questions, comments? Okay, vote by board members?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, with the new list, we will be voting on the original item, and let me reread that. Christina Cameron Otero, Barbara Dew, Michael C. Flores, Karen Paisant, removed Barbara Schneider, Jane Smith from Yucaipa, Mark Sumter from County Office of Ed, and Donna West fills out the seven.
Mhm.
Board members, vote by board members, please.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. See, we can continue on with K4
Mhm.
before we move into closed session. So, motion and second on K4, please.
I'll move to approve the recommendations of the administrative hearing panel.
Thank you.
Second?
Thank you. Approve the recommendations of the administrative hearing panel stipulated, yeah, all of a sudden.
It's okay, you're doing
My,
fine.
my brain went off the track.
You're doing fine.
Derailed. Stipulated expulsions, case numbers 17-18-33, 17-18-29, 17-18-25, and reinstatement hearings, case numbers 16-17-65, 16-17-47, 16-17-17, 14-15-45, and EE 17-18-2. Deny reinstatement for case number 16-17-44. And vote by board members, please.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, I don't believe it's going to be too long. It is to hear or to deny the liability claim of 17-1803, 17-1807. And we need to go into closed session to hear it and then come back out and vote on it. So we have a motion. Did we have a second?
Yes.
Thank you. And a vote to go into closed session, please. Board members?
Aye.
We did that.
Aye.
I already did
Okay,
that.
thank you. Okay. We should be back in about 15 or 20. I don't see any longer.
Come on.
She's selling cookies again.
Yeah.
I can't get any more. Yes, I did. Thank you. What a
Peanut butter?
nice treat.
They were
Peanut
wonderful.
butter?
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Let me have the chocolate one. I'll put them in the refrigerator.
This is going home with me.
Okay. Okay. Don't have any change. I hope you have change.
All right.
Unless you want 3 more boxes.
No, that's good right there.
All right.
Here.
There are people who want to go home.
Mr. Martinez, do you have $3 on you?
I'm not sure. I'll look after we.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here.
You can have mine.
Okay. We have to go ahead and have a motion
Move to
close.
adjourn closed session.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Vote by board members.
Aye.
Okay, report out of closed session. We'll just do it as K1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. A motion and a second to deny liability claim on item K1. All
So
right.
moved.
So move.
Second.
Okay, and they're arguing for first here. Okay, deny liability claim numbers 171803 and 171807, and vote by board members.
Aye.
All right. A little bit of information. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Rialto Unified School District will be held March 7th at 7 p.m. right here at the Dr. John R. Casalunas Education Center, 182 East Walnut Avenue, Rialto, California.
So that's next week. We're,
Yeah.
we're going off our 2-week schedule for one time.
That's okay. Okay, let's see. Materials distributed or presented to the Board of Education at the board meetings are available upon request from the superintendent's office. I will now entertain a motion and a second for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
I know. Vote by board members.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, our student board member left at about 9, and time is 9:19. Thank you, everybody.
Good meeting, everyone.